Aloha kako, aloha. I want to say thank you to the sponsors of this forum and also to all of you who are here tonight. I know it's time for you. I mean, you have very valuable time, and for you to take the time off to come tonight means a lot to not only me, but I think to the other two candidates. For me, the reason I'm running is I want to take you in a new direction. I don't want you to have the same system in order, or just where you just change out the leaders and you have the same system. It's really about going in a new direction in regards to businesses, in regards to taxes and fees and everything else that we face in this island state of ours. But the real reason is because I believe my calling is for my grandchildren and my children. I'm at that stage of life right now where I believe I have that one last season of life. And just this past couple of years, my wife and I were blessed with a granddaughter, Riley, and a grandson, as you heard, Makana, we call him JP. And for those of you who are brand new grandparents, you understand my feeling and my emotion in regards to my grandchildren. And in looking at them, and also looking at my children, you know, it was upon me, upon a challenge from my wife, if this is really what I wanted to do, which was to walk away from all of this. Really, I had really thought about this and prayed about this. And if I would be able to look myself in the mirror and say I did everything I could to make things better for my grandchildren and my children. And obviously, the calling was simple. So I'm here to give you an option in taking you in a new direction so that you don't have to just change out the players and have the same system in place. I thank you once again. Elwin, Ahu, and myself, we're here to bring trust, respect, and balance back to government, and we humbly ask for your vote on November 4th. Thank you.
I did also want to thank the Hawaii Island Chamber of Commerce and the sponsors of this forum here this evening. It really is important that all of you have an opportunity to see the candidates side by side and listen to us responding to the issues that are most important to you. You know, I have had the privilege of working with your representatives in the state capitol for 29 years, 3 decades. And there have been so many projects that I'm proud of to be associated with the Big Island. You know, I still remember the first time I met with Larry Kimura from Aha Punana Lelo, and he just expressed his concern that we would be losing native speakers, that we are down to the last 50 native speakers, and when we lose the language, we lose the culture. I am so proud to have been part of that groundbreaking up at Hilo to open the Hawaiian College, committed to perpetuation of the Hawaiian language, because I understand that the language is the culture, and our host culture is so important to the state of Hawaii. Many people have asked me, why am I running for governor? I am running for governor because this election really is about the future of Hawaii. It's about the future that you and I want to leave to our children and our children's children. There are so many issues as I've traveled across the state, and I've listened and heard the concern from many of you that government has become disconnected with the people, that it is no longer serving. I'm running for governor because I believe, and I've heard, that you want a change in leadership style. You want a leader that can bring our communities together rather than divide them. A leader who can find common ground and, most importantly, find solutions that move our communities forward. Shan Tsutsui and I ask for your vote on November 4th.
Aloha mai kako, aloha everyone. It's always a pleasure to come back to the Big Island. Many of my fondest memories continue to be when I was a resident and living in Na'alehu and Pahala, and also in Papaiko. I return tonight to ask you to consider, for the next couple hours that we're with you, all the candidates will offer you ideas and solutions to make our place a better place to work, live, and play. But I want you to think of yourself as an employer. You're looking to hire the next leader for the state of Hawaii. And when you do that, you look at their experience, you look at their qualifications, you look at their previous track record. This is a job for someone who has executive experience. This is a big job, 52,000 employees, billions in dollars of an operating budget. You have to be clear that that person can hit the ground running from day one. It's also a job that requires a governor to go to Washington, D.C. We've lost our perennial powerhouse back there in Senator Daniel Inouye. And so now more than ever, with a very young delegation, that governor has to go there and ask for federal assistance. I have a proven track record of doing work in Washington, D.C., having worked with our delegation to save Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard from closing. It also has to be a governor that has an international breadth of experience in dealing in the Pacific Asian region. I was there this afternoon talking to students at the University of Hawaii, Hilo. I told them our future is in the Pacific Asian region. And what better way than to have a governor who has traveled extensively in that part of the world, has relationships, and can build upon that relationships to make Hawaii a better place. So this is what we're facing with tonight. We ask you to listen very carefully, and hopefully you'll come away with the feeling that Mufi Hanneman and Les Chang, a retired U.S. veteran of 30 years, are the best team to move Hawaii forward. Mahalo.
Tell us what the key principles are of the Republican Party and how they will guide your administration.
I have my principles, and my principles are very, very simple. It is about trust, it is about respect, and it's about balance. In traveling across the state, first and foremost, the people have told me we don't trust our public servants. Why don't you trust your public servants? Because they don't respect our ideas, our dreams, and our fears. They're not listening, they're not responding. And as such, we are out of balance when it comes to our government. I think you don't have to look too far to know that we're number one in a lot of things that we don't want to be. And that's why I said in my opening remarks, we need to go in a new direction. Those are our principles, and when I say our, I'm talking about myself and my running mate, Elwin Ahu, and it's very simple: trust, respect, and balance.
Mr. Hanneman, you're an independent. What are the key principles of the independent party, sort of an unknown party in this state, and how will that guide your administration? 1 minute, please.
The independent party is all about representing the people, putting people first, as opposed to the party. For too long, we've been mired in partisan gridlock. We've seen that in Washington, D.C. We've seen that locally when a Republican governor was in the state office and had great difficulty getting things through an entrenched Democratic majority. You've also experienced gridlock with the Democratic governor, our current Democratic governor, not finding common ground with the Democratic legislature. So what about trying something different, something new? We're all about the people, putting people first. That's why I want to do an inter-island ferry service. I've heard resoundingly from people throughout the neighbor island state of Hawaii, they want that. And that's why I'm responding to it. That's why I did rail on Oahu. I heard resoundingly that people wanted rail. And I govern in a nonpartisan environment as a nonpartisan mayor of the city and county of Honolulu. So if you want a party that will put you first, the answer is the independent party.
Mr. Ige, as a Democrat, talk about how the key principles of the Democratic Party will guide your administration. 1 minute only, please.
Thank you. You know, the Democratic Party has always been the party of the people. We put people first. It's about fighting for the working class, fighting for living wages. It's about being compassionate and ensuring that those less fortunate are cared for as well. It's providing that safety net. It's making investment in public education and public schools and caring about the environment. You know, I've served in the state capitol with 3 simple principles that I will bring to the governor's office. Be open and honest in communication, listen and be respectful of all views, and then most importantly, do the right thing the right way. You know, these are my guiding principles. It fits in very nicely with the priorities of the Democratic Party, and I look forward to the opportunity to being able to serve you.
We have a lot of questions, obviously, from the audience that have been submitted over the last weeks, things that concern people on this island. But before we get to those, what are your top priorities that will affect Hawaii Island? We're not asking for your full plan, just what are your top priorities?
When I was mayor of Honolulu, I said the most important job of a county mayor is public health and safety. I'm saying as governor, the most important responsibility is education. The most important goal is improving the economy, and they work together hand in hand. The Big Island has been experiencing some major difficulties in jobs, in making sure that people can stay on the Big Island, and also the challenges that you face in your education system. What about someone now who has that experience of looking at a budget and not just cutting, but looking at ways to grow the economy, taking advantage of the natural assets you have here on the Big Island, astronomy and sciences, agriculture, and tourism, and bringing that to pass so that we can have our children want to stay here. And what about a governor that's going to feel very passionately about education, to make sure that education is going to be the highest priority and that we don't cut unnecessarily and we grow that so that our kids can be employment ready, college ready, and citizenship ready.
Thank you, Mr. Hanneman.
As always, I really do believe it's public education. Public schools form the foundation of our community. It really is the enabler that allows our children to dream and pursue their big ideas for a place in the 21st century. Yeah, I've been a big supporter and proponent of charter schools. There are more charter schools here on the Big Island than any other island. So it really is about bringing balance. I was proud to be able to support the new science technology building at Waimea Middle School because it is such a vital asset for our communities. It is about finding balance in management of our natural resources. We need to find a way to recognize hunters and those fishermen whenever we look at rules that guide management of our resources. And then third, it's about the economy. We need to open that international terminal at Kona Airport because it provides huge access and benefit to the entire state.
The priorities for this island are no different from those across the state. Farmers, they're small business owners. I'm the only candidate that is making this commitment, and that is real simple. When we get elected, we're going to put a sign out there that says, Hawaii is open for business. I am committed to promoting the most positive business environment that you can find by simply getting government out of the way of small businesses. And all of you, many of you in this room are small businesses, because we know that 99% of our businesses here in Hawaii are small businesses. That's a commitment that you're only going to hear from me. I will find the ways to cut regulations, to cut fees, to make life that much simpler for all of our business people so they don't have to go through these barriers, so that they can thrive. And when small businesses thrive, what do? They create jobs, and they create jobs that will pay a livable wage. So it's really about how do we expand the economy, and there's more to it than just what I said, but that's going to be my constant underlying theme.
Thank you. Thank you so much.